Every single day, people put up with tiny problems that waste time, money, and patience. Bad parking, messy eating, noisy streets, dirty public bathrooms, and little tasks that somehow feel harder than they should. But in Japan, many of those daily annoyances were not just improved, they were redesigned. So if smart ideas, clever inventions, and everyday upgrades are the kind of thing that make life feel a little magical, hit subscribe, because this list might leave one big question stuck in your head. Why doesn't every country do this? This is a place where parking lots can stack cars like vending machines, convenience stores can feel more useful than supermarkets, and even a simple train ride can show how much easier everyday life could be. In this video, here are 7 annoying things people deal with all the time that Japan found surprisingly smart ways to fix. Some are small, some are futuristic, but all of them show the same idea. Life does not have to stay inconvenient just because everyone is used to it. What makes these examples so interesting is that most of them are not giant luxury upgrades. They are answers to problems people have quietly tolerated for years. The rest of the world often treats inconvenience like background noise. Long lines, messy packaging, unreliable systems, awkward public spaces, and poor design get accepted as normal because they happen every day. Japan often takes the opposite approach. If something feels annoying, repetitive, wasteful, or uncomfortable, there is a good chance someone has tried to redesign it. That is why this topic keeps pulling viewers in. It is not only about Japan being different, it is about seeing proof that ordinary life can be improved when design, service, and infrastructure are taken seriously. And as the list goes on, the pattern becomes hard to ignore. The fixes are not random. They come from a culture that often values efficiency, cleanliness, clarity, and consideration in public life. That does not mean everything is perfect, but it does explain why so many everyday systems feel surprisingly refined. The real surprise is not that Japan invented a few clever ideas. The surprise is how often those ideas appear in normal places, used by normal people in the middle of an ordinary day. That also makes the video format work so well. Each example starts with a frustration people already understand, then quickly flips it into a solution that feels obvious in hindsight. That problem-to-solution rhythm keeps attention high, creates constant mini-surprises, and makes every new item feel like another answer to the same question. Why was this never fixed for everyone? First, parking. In many countries, parking is a daily headache. Spaces are too small, lots are too crowded, and drivers circle around wasting fuel just to find one open spot. In busy cities, land is limited, so parking becomes expensive, ugly, and stressful. Japan looked at that problem and came up with a solution that feels almost unreal the first time people see it: vertical parking systems. Instead of spreading cars across massive flat lots, many Japanese buildings stack them upward using mechanical lifts and rotating storage towers. A driver pulls in, leaves the car in a platform area, and the system moves it into place automatically. It saves space, keeps streets cleaner, and removes a lot of the chaos that usually comes with city parking. In places where land is incredibly valuable, this is not just clever, it is necessary. And the best part is how simple the logic is. If cities run out of ground, use height. It sounds obvious, yet most of the world still handles parking like it did decades ago. Japan turned the problem into an engineering puzzle and solved it in a way that looks futuristic but works in everyday life. Next, public bathrooms. In a lot of places, people lower expectations the second they step into a public restroom. Dirty floors, broken seats, bad smells, no paper, cold design, and that feeling of wanting to leave as fast as possible. Japan decided that this basic part of daily life should not feel unpleasant. That is why public restrooms in Japan are often surprisingly clean, well-designed, and full of thoughtful features. Many have heated seats, bidet functions, sound masking for privacy, automatic lids, touchless flushing, and layouts that actually feel calm instead of stressful. Even train stations, shopping areas, and public parks often have restrooms that people can use without fear. What makes this so impressive is not just the technology, it is the mindset behind it. Japan treats public spaces as shared spaces worth maintaining. The result is a system where a normal daily necessity becomes more comfortable, more hygienic, and far less annoying. Once someone gets used to that level of convenience, going back feels like stepping into the past. Now think about eating on the go. In many countries, quick food usually means a compromise. It is either unhealthy, messy, overpriced, or all three at once. People grab chips, candy bars, or fast food because it is easy, even when it is not satisfying. Japan approached convenience food very differently. Japanese convenience stores, often called konbini, turned quick meals into something far smarter. Instead of only offering snacks built around sugar, salt, and regret, these stores are packed with rice balls, fresh sandwiches, decent salads, noodle dishes, soups, boiled eggs, yogurt, fruit drinks, and ready meals that are actually practical for real life. The packaging is also designed with ridiculous attention to detail. Some wrappers separate ingredients until the exact moment they are eaten, so seaweed stays crisp and bread stays fresh. Hot and cold items are organized well, portions make sense, and the whole system is built for speed without feeling careless. It solves one of the most common daily annoyances in modern life, being busy, hungry, and surrounded by bad options. That is what makes Japan's convenience culture so interesting. It does not just make food fast, it makes fast food more functional. Another daily frustration is carrying cash, coins, cards, bags, and random purchases while moving through a city. Shopping often means extra friction, long checkout lines, clumsy payment systems, awkward bagging, and too many tiny delays that add up over time. Japan fixed a lot of that by making convenience part of the whole shopping experience, not just the product. Small stores, train kiosks, pharmacies, supermarkets, and vending machines are designed to keep people moving. Contactless payments are common, packaging is neat, service is fast, and many stores make it incredibly easy to grab exactly what is needed and leave within minutes. Even the way receipts, change, and items are handed over often feels organized instead of rushed. This might sound minor, but that is the point. Daily life is made of minor things. When enough small annoyances disappear, an ordinary day starts feeling smoother. Japan seems to understand that convenience is not one invention. It is 1,000 small design choices working together. And that is exactly why these ideas are so addictive to watch. They are not giant science fiction dreams. They are practical fixes to problems almost everyone deals with. If more videos like this sound interesting, subscribing is the easiest way to keep finding them. Let's move to one of the biggest daily annoyances of all: public transportation that feels unreliable, confusing, or exhausting. In many places, people build their whole day around delays. A late train can ruin work, school, meetings, and plans. Buses may or may not show up. Transfers feel messy. Stations feel unclear. Japan took that chaos and turned it into one of the clearest examples of how systems can respect people's time. Trains in Japan are famous for being punctual, frequent, and deeply organized. Stations are designed to guide huge numbers of people with signs, markings, platform information, and systems that reduce confusion. Even when stations are large, they often feel more readable than smaller stations elsewhere. The goal is simple: make movement predictable. That matters because transportation is not just transportation. It controls the rhythm of daily life. When people can trust a train to arrive on time, entire cities run differently. Commuting becomes less stressful. Planning becomes easier. Time stops leaking away in the form of uncertainty. And Japan does something else well here. It makes public transport feel normal, not like a last resort. Clean cars, quiet behavior, reliable schedules, and efficient design make the experience feel respectful. That alone fixes a problem many people barely notice until they see a better version of it. 6. Now here is a problem almost every city struggles with: streets and public areas that feel cluttered, noisy, and strangely exhausting. Over time, visual mess creates mental mess. Tangled cables, chaotic signs, overflowing bins, and badly organized spaces make ordinary errands feel more stressful than they need to be. Japan often solves this through an obsession with order. Walk through many Japanese neighborhoods and one thing stands out quickly: systems are visible everywhere. Items are arranged carefully. Sidewalks are used efficiently. Store displays are compact. Public behavior often keeps shared spaces quieter and more predictable. Even trash disposal, which can be strict and sometimes complicated, reflects the same bigger idea that disorder creates friction. This does not mean every place is perfect. Japan has crowded areas too. But what feels different is the constant effort to reduce chaos. The design of public life often encourages awareness of other people. And when millions of small actions are shaped by that idea, the result is a city that can feel smoother, cleaner, and easier to navigate. That solves an annoyance people everywhere know well: environments that drain energy for no reason. Finally, there is the biggest hidden annoyance of modern life: doing simple tasks that somehow require too much effort. Reheating food badly, getting drinks from one place, snacks from another, and basic essentials from somewhere else. Waiting for staff to handle tiny transactions. Needing help for things that could easily be automated. Japan attacked that problem from every direction. This is why the country became famous for vending machines, smart service systems, and automation in everyday spaces. Need a drink? A machine is nearby. Need a hot meal at odd hours? There may be a fast, efficient option close by. Need a quick purchase without a long interaction? Systems are often designed to handle it smoothly. In some restaurants, customers order from tablets or machines. In some hotels, check-in is heavily automated. In some stores, the entire flow is built around speed and clarity. What makes this impressive is that the automation usually targets ordinary life, not just luxury life. It is not always about showing off futuristic technology. It is about reducing tiny bits of friction that people deal with constantly. That is why these ideas stand out so much to visitors. They are not world-changing in a dramatic movie sense. They are world-changing in the way daily life actually feels. So those were 7 annoying things people deal with all the time that Japan found smart ways to fix. Parking, public bathrooms, fast food, shopping friction, unreliable transport, chaotic public spaces, and everyday tasks that take too much effort. And maybe that is the real reason videos like this are so satisfying. They do not just show cool inventions, they show a different philosophy. Instead of accepting inconvenience as normal, Japan keeps asking a better question. How can this be made easier? That is why so many people leave with the same reaction. Not just that is impressive, but why don't we have this too? If one of these stood out the most, drop it in the comments, subscribe for more smart ideas from around the world, and check out the next video for even more everyday things that other places somehow made better.